Hello and welcome to Not Another Football Podcast. I'm Luke and this is Ollie, and we're here every week to bring you our Premier League reaction and to talk about the games from this weekend. Ollie, how are you doing, mate?
Yeah, all good. Yeah, slightly disappointed after the Chelsea result. I'm smiling on the outside, but inside I'm crying.
Absolutely raging.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, we might as well just start with Chelsea game, considering you brought it up. Let's get your pain out of the way before we move on to different topics. But yeah, go on.
Fire away.
Yeah, go on. Fire away.
Well, Sanchez being the theme of the day again, costing us badly. It feels like every time he starts, he costs us a goal. I think just that whole central defensive triangle between him, Fofana and Colwell looks weaker and weaker each week. You'd be hoping to think that unit would get stronger as the season goes on, but they seem to be becoming poorer and poorer as a unit. And saw that epitomised that with the goal. But I mean, United got in like 3 or 4 decent chances. If Garnacho was on better form, I think they would have scored 3 or 4. United. That's how many chances we gave up. I think everywhere else across the park looked fairly decent, albeit there was no real 10 out of 10 performers apart from probably Caicedo and Neto again, who were excellent.
Caicedo's been really good this season.
Yeah, he was excellent towards the back end of last season as well. Like since the turn of the year, like he's been Chelsea's best player by far, and I think rightly had the armband at times because he really has led from the front in terms of that midfield performance. I thought that Madueke was dreadful again.
Anonymous
today. His form seems to have dropped off, and maybe with Neto being stronger on the right, maybe he goes into that position and either Mudryk or Sancho comes in on the left-hand side. I still think Nkunku probably deserves a shot for Jackson because he was totally anonymous today.
Hey, that's still the guy though you've backed to score 20 Premier League goals. Are you feeling a bit unsure now?
I'm not unsure, but I feel like Nkunku deserves a run of games ahead of Jackson. Like he's been poor for a few weeks now. So yeah, maybe it's time to switch things up a little bit. But yeah, we were poor all over the field today, and I think it was one of those games where you reflect on it and you go, either side could have lost it, and you would say they deserved to lose. It was a game of very, very poor quality. Like it sped up towards once both teams scored, but. Nasty game of football.
It really was. It was actually pretty boring. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I watched it, but you know when you can feel yourself drifting out of the game when you're watching it because you're thinking. I know obviously you're a fan, so it's a bit different. But watching it, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is really poor quality. But from what I did see, I thought Caicedo was really good. Like I mentioned, and you mentioned, he's been so good this season. Looking like finally looking like the Brighton player that you actually bought. So that's really positive for you guys. Neto, I think I really like Neto anyway. It's always been the same thing, isn't it, with him? It's injuries. If Neto can get a run of games, consistently and not pick up those niggling injuries, or even he's had a couple of mid to long-term injuries, he's really good. He's really effective. So I think
defensively he's very good as well.
Yeah, exactly. He works really hard for the team. I think that's probably one of your issues is when you mentioned Madueke, is you've got a lot of wingers who could be really good, and then they're so inconsistent. Because with him, he's got loads of ability. But then the last couple of games, he's just looked disinterested or not on it.
Yeah, not on it is I think the words that I would use there. Madueke's got that tendency to get overconfident with things, and maybe since he's been selected by England, maybe he's foot steps off the gas, whereas it needed to go the other way. Like I think Madueke has got better defensively and he's more diligent, but just the last 2 games in terms of in possession and attacking wise, it's offered offered nothing, which just isn't good enough if you're going to be, chasing towards the front. It can't just be all on one player or all on one side. It's just not good enough. And he was so dangerous the first 4, 5, 6 games of the season, cutting in off the right hand side on his left. Like, he was making the right decisions all the way through. But yeah, since that international break, he's been terrible, to be fair to him.
Yeah, he has been off the ball. Again, though, probably just systematic of that type of winger at the moment. That's the problem, isn't it? When you're with potential. If he becomes consistent, it'd be great. Yeah,
and that's the word with the whole Chelsea team, really. It's potential there. Like, you're hoping that, if I compare them to you guys or to teams towards the top of the table like Colwell and Fofana, those players aren't established. They won't classify them as truly established Premier League players yet, but probably between them, they've probably had 3 seasons of Premier League football, maybe 3.5 at a push. And, those are your starting 2 centre-backs, and you're expecting them not to make errors. Like, they are going to do that for a young pairing.
And especially with Fofana, you mentioned last week how aggressive on the front foot he is. That's great as well, but obviously that leads to a lot of opportunities for mistakes. Yeah.
And I think that's a bit to what Maresca was talking about before in regards to leadership at the back. Like, they are giving up a hell of a lot of chances in there. Maybe when Cucurella came on, they looked more balanced, and I think they will try to do that. But I think what he's trying to do is get Palmer in off their left-hand side, fundamentally, in that half space, and he doesn't want Cucurella taking up that space, and that's why he's playing Gusto in there, and then Reece James is going into the middle. So I think that's the idea behind it, but I don't think the execution is necessarily working. And maybe Cucurella in there, we look like probably a better balance. Team, but
yeah, that's fair. And well, I guess you touched on him. Should probably mention your mate again, Sanchez. I mean, I know Neville said it on comms, and to be fair, I think a better keeper probably does just pull out of it. Doesn't isn't as rash and dive in. But how many keepers do we see do that? A lot. It just happens to be Sanchez. Seems like every week something's happening with it.
Every week there's something, and this is the thing with him. He will just give up a goal like every week through a pass out or through a mistake, or a shot will fly past him that he should save. Like, he's just prone to an error. He's one of those goalkeepers, unfortunately. And that's why I said we start 1-0 down every time he starts on the team sheet. We've got to get Jorgensen into the team like ASAP.
Did he play against Newcastle?
He did play against Newcastle, yeah. I mean, they conceded twice, but I think
it wasn't his fault.
Those goals were his fault. So maybe if he just keeps playing well in the Conference League, maybe he'll get a shot. But I keep saying that every week. And Maresca, the thing is, he's been ruthless on every other position. Whenever somebody's not been playing well, he's replaced them. But it doesn't seem like it's the case with Sanchez. But yeah, going back to that error, Højlund takes a horror touch, and you're just thinking he's going nowhere. You don't need to do it. But you just knew he was going to foul him, and there we go. but in the build-up to that, also, like, Fofana gets so caught out. You can see it a mile off, just straight over his head. Like,
I know it's basic as well, isn't it?
That triangle, but also before that, Colwell gives the ball away as well into the midfield under no pressure. Then Casemiro wins the ball back. So it's an error by Colwell, compounded by Fofana, and then Sanchez puts the cherry on the icing on the cake with the error. And it's 3 errors, and it all comes from that triangle at the back. That's where we're certainly weakest, and I think if we don't drop Sanchez, we won't get in the Champions League.
To be fair, completely agree, but to be fair, Colwell and Fofana, you can see the potential, and they have been pretty decent, I'd say. I think they've shown signs that they can, if they can be consistent, that they can forge a decent partnership. Don't know how long term it'll be, but I think that you could get something out of them. Whereas Sanchez, I feel like you're not going to get anything out of him. Like, do you know what I mean? He has to be replaced. I think one question I'd have for you, because obviously I've not seen Jorgensen, so I've seen the highlights of the goals from the Newcastle game, which is why I knew it wasn't Sanchez, but I wasn't sure if it was Jorgensen. But is it because is Jorgensen not very good with his feet?
He is good with his feet.
Oh, he is good.
Good with his feet. That was the primary reason why we signed him.
Right.
But lots of people are saying that it wasn't Maresca's signing and he wanted the Leicester goalkeeper that he worked with in the previous year, and therefore he's digging his heels in with Sanchez. But I'm not sure if that is the case or whether there's any truth in that. But yeah, it like I said before, threat of repeating myself, it seems strange that he's been so strong in terms of pulling non-performers out in regards to their position, whether that's Enzo Fernandez, whether that's Nkunku, all of these players who they signed for X million pounds, and then Sanchez, despite howler after howler, game after game, he continues to stick with him. So we shall see if Jorgensen gets a chance in the Premier League. But let's hope he does and he nails down that Premier League place, because I genuinely think if we don't change him, it's no chance at the Champions League. I think we'll finish 5th, 6th.
It'll cost you too many points, yeah.
Too many points, way too many points.
Yeah, can see that. What do you think of United? Obviously, might as well touch on them because Ten Hag's gone. There you go. We were discussing the first sacking of the season last week.
Yeah.
Day after Ten Hag.
Ten Hag?
I brought it back to Ten Hag. We didn't agree that it was Ten Hag, but we said, because we were talking at the bottom end of the table, and then obviously we're like, oh yeah, United lost again to West Ham, so he definitely could be one. But he's gone, replaced by Amorim as well. So what do you think?
Lots of questions. What do I think about their performance today? I thought they were pretty awful. I'm not going to lie. I didn't think they were anything. I didn't think they were anything special at all. I felt like they slowed the game down with a series of yellow cards. I thought they were pretty poor in terms of their end output, as well as us. I didn't necessarily see a distinct style of play that they'd inherited or enhanced from Ten Hag. I think Amorim will do well. Well, will certainly do better. It's difficult to do any worse, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think they will suit a 3 at the back, United, because I feel like De Ligt in a 2 is exposed. I feel like Martinez in a 2 is exposed. If you put Yoro in there, they've probably got a decent balance to what is a shaky backline. Outside of that, Dalot is probably a better right wing back. Mazraoui, I don't know if I've pronounced his name correctly.
No, I think you have.
Is probably a better wing back. It's just in the pockets in regards to the 10. You could probably, if he plays 4 across the middle, and Ugarte and maybe Mainu as the 2 centre mids, and Fernandez, and I don't know who would be the other 10. Who would you think would play in there? Garnacho maybe, because it's not going to be Rashford, is it?
No, it wouldn't be Rashford. Maybe Garnacho. Just trying to think, is anyone who's missing or anyone like that who's just we're completely forgetting? I don't think there is. No. There isn't a natural solution. There isn't. The only one they have is Fernandez, unless they try and push Mainu further forward and play Casemiro alongside Ugarte. But
and play Mainu and
further advance with yeah, maybe, because Mainu was further forward when he was younger. So
yeah. But then you'd lose, obviously. Well, you could only play with Højlund up front, really.
Yeah.
Or unless you play Nacho left midfield, or one of them right wing back or left wing back. But yeah, it's a bit of a mess. But I'll enjoy watching the mess.
Yeah, same. I mean, Amorim was obviously linked with Liverpool heavily and West Ham. So, he was a manager who was sought after, but there was links recently as well with City. So I'm kind of surprised because is it Hugo Viana, who's their sporting director? He's tipped to be going to City. So they reckon that he would basically bring in Amorim, but wasn't to be. However, his track record so far, considering what is he, 39? Something ridiculous like that. Yeah. His track record's been really good. And he's obviously won a couple of titles, I think it is, with Lisbon. So Portuguese league's obviously difficult. It's very hit and miss, but I think given his track record, he has to probably do better than Ten Hag's done league-wise, I would think. Like you said, especially this season, hard to do worse. I know Ten Hag won 2 trophies though, so obviously there is that gauntlet to beat, I guess, for Amorim. But I feel like it would be a pretty good appointment. I don't feel I'm not worried, but I'm definitely slightly worried. That he might be the right guy to at least get him back to consistent top 4 level. If they can kick on and challenge for a league, I don't know. Depends, obviously. A long way to go, sign and stuff like that. So be interesting to see. But let's hope they stay in the doldrums, eh?
Yeah, by the looks of that squad today, I think they're going to be in the doldrums.
It'll be a long time. Yeah, for sure. But obviously, with that point, well, let's go on to it. Title of the video, anyway, if you're watching on YouTube, you've now jumped ahead of Arsenal in goal difference. Arsenal losing to Newcastle 1-0 on the weekend. Obviously, great result for me. Good result for you, but it's not really, I guess they're not really your challenges at all this season, you wouldn't think. So just a blip on that front, I think, in terms of the title challenge, do you think? Because I can't see, I even though they haven't won in 3, Arsenal, I can't see them being in a top 4 race. I feel like they would solidify 3rd. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if they falter off the top, challenging for the league, I feel like they'll be safely 3rd. However, there have been people online calling for Arteta to be sacked. Arsenal, quote unquote, Arsenal fans. You know what social media's like. But quite a few people calling for him to be sacked. I don't think he should be sacked at all. I think people are jumping the gun a lot there. I mean, it should be a blip. I do think they're out the title, though. Out the title race. I think it's too many points already.
8 points, is it, behind you?
8 points behind us. Yeah. I'm calling it early because I just...
You said Liverpool wouldn't win the league like a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, no, but City are on, obviously, a 5 points ahead. I know lost to Bournemouth, but City, I think, will extend that gap between them and Arsenal because I feel like I've seen this season before when people are building you up as title challengers. Not many title challengers don't win in 3 and lose 2 of those 3, do they? We're talking in a short stint, and I know everyone goes, there's so many games left. Yeah, no, but now you're talking about a team being near on perfect. Especially against that City side. Is that going to really happen? They're going to drop more points. So that means that they're going to be further and further off. That's my opinion. Well, I rambled on a bit. Do you think he should be sacked?
No, he shouldn't be sacked. But I think he has made a big rod for his own back in regards to trying to make Havertz work as your leading goal scorer to take you to a Premier League title. Obviously he's got his attributes. Obviously he's got qualities, but is he going to score you people say the 20 goals this season, but realistically to compete with Manchester City, it has to be like 25 goals this season, right? How many goals has Salah got to fire you to get to the Premier League title? Probably got to be 25. Like Havertz, I don't foresee him getting close to the 25 goals this season, do you?
No.
And he made that decision himself, and he's going to have to, that's the one that he's going to have to die on the hill with, really. And you look at the other players that were within the marketplace, and I'm not just saying that because he scored 2 goals today, but like a Solanke, for instance, right? Would they have had a better chance this Premier League season by signing him than having Havertz?
Yeah.
Probably.
As the leading man, yeah.
Yeah, as the leading man, because yes, Havertz gives you the opportunity to play in a couple of ways, but he also gives other teams opportunities to play in a certain way defensively against your side. And there's other things that he can do that he doesn't have to his game, that he will never have to his game. And he does get bullied out of things easily. And I think that they're not dynamic enough in that area as a result of that. So
I
think what I would say.
Good point as well that you mentioned. Salah, he will probably have to get between 20 to 25 goals if we were going to win the league. But we have the luxury of having another 5 forwards who, if they play consistently, will probably get double figures.
Yeah, exactly.
Or at least just under. Whereas you look at the Arsenal, don't you? And you think, right, Saka, he can get double figures.
Yeah.
Havertz, he should in that team, but he might not. Yeah. And then you go Martinelli, who's dropped off a cliff. In terms of 2 seasons ago, he was really exciting, and whereas he doesn't look as lethal anymore. So he's struggling. So he might not even get double figures.
Yeah.
And then who have you got? You got like Sterling.
Yeah.
I mean, Sterling as well as me. He was actually good at Liverpool, so we got a good little mini run out of him. But he's not the same player he was. It's not 2018 anymore. He's just not going to be the guy. So, and then they've got the young lad who's come off the bench quite a few times, scored a really good goal. Why can't I remember his name? Against Preston in the Cup. But again, you can't be relying on the young lad to chip in with double figures. Then all of a sudden, you're having to rely on midfielders.
Yep.
You go further back. Odegaard's obviously missing. That's one of the reasons they're struggling, because they haven't got that creative force to unlock the deep line defenses.
Mm-hmm.
Then Rice, Partey, these guys are not going to make up for the fact that your front line across the front line isn't getting double figures.
Yeah, yeah. And you could make an argument with Trossard, obviously, but he's not a starter, is he?
No, true. Trossard I do like. Again, though, Trossard would be perfect in a team that has players already who are taking that burden, because then he can chip in.
He was that guy, wasn't he? He was that guy for the past season and a half.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And, I would agree with you. I think Havertz, like, when you look at who they signed and stuff like that, everyone was kind of screaming for a front man for him. Because obviously the Ivan Toney one, massive in the summer. And now especially in the games they've lost, the Bournemouth one, they went down to 10 men. And then weekend against Newcastle, that's probably the type of game when you're not playing well, but you've got a goal scorer and the chance falls to him, because Rice missed a sitter. He missed a sitter. He should have equalised. It was like the 88th minute as well. It was very late on. But if that's falling to, like we're saying, if that is falling to Toney, he's probably taking that. You're getting out with a draw. Things look a bit different. Obviously, you're not losing. Maybe against Liverpool when they had the pressure in the first half. Clinical striker. Maybe coming out of the first half 3-1 up rather than 2-1. So then it's a bit more difficult for us to get back into the game. So going into the season with Havertz seems like a mistake as the main guy.
Yeah. I just don't think you just can't play long into him, like some games away from home. Like, he'll just not be up for it, or he'll just get bullied like he did against Newcastle.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're always going to struggle if that's the case. And everybody's highlighting, it's their defence, like compared to their record last season, they've conceded X amount of goals or whatever. But that's an anomaly, like to keep that amount of clean sheets. They were never going to keep it that as solid as that this season, like we spoke about before, for all of the teams with the amount of pre-season and the European Championships in the summer. It's like players are going to be fatigued. They're going to make more mistakes. But I think it's up front that they've actually got one of the biggest challenges. But do I think he'll be sacked? No, stupid. They're not going to sack him for sure. But they could do next season if they have a bad start, I would suggest. And they, if they were just to get to top 4, but they weren't anywhere near challenging.
No, yeah, exactly. If they start off again next season and they're falling away and it doesn't look likely, then he might walk. They might sack him. But to sack him this season off the back of these 3 games, like I said, I do think they're out the title race. Personally, I don't think they'll win it now. I know, big call, but I still wouldn't sack him. I mean, I think that's ridiculous. I mean, he's still done a good job. I know people, though, will compare trophy hauls and he's only won an FA Cup. That might change this season. But you still, still built something there, and I still think there's foundations there they can improve on. So I wouldn't get rid. So you're saying, by the way, though, you're saying they're still in the title race, yeah?
I mean, it swings round so quickly, doesn't it? I think that they're still like, if they were in, I don't see there's any reason by the end of by December they couldn't be in within a distance of 4 or 5 points. There's no reason why that couldn't be the case. And then if that is the case in December, then you're saying that they're still in the race, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can the way in which it's been played out the first 10 games or so, who really knows? But yeah, maybe that segues perfectly onto the the perfect team at the moment, Liverpool.
Hey, we're not perfect. We lost to Forest at home, so another title contender, sat in third. What a season, by the way!
Yeah.
What a great start to the season.
Yeah.
I know, man. That win against Brighton, that was a stressful watch. I struggled with that one because it's one of those obviously early kickoff, Arsenal lose, so you go into the game got a bit of confidence. Bournemouth take the lead against City. So you're thinking, geez, man, what could be, today could be absolutely perfect. And then Brighton take the lead. And to be honest, that first half, I honestly think that was the worst we've played all season, that first half. It was so bad. I've never seen Alexis McAllister give away the ball as much as he did. Same with Trent. Trent as well, man, was backing out of 50-50s or half-hearted in 50-50s. There was one little moment in the game. I can't remember. It was Van Hecker or something for Brighton. Won the ball 3 or 4 times on the edge of his own box, or just got past someone and didn't get clattered or anything, or won the 50-50 and just went through us, and they led to a counter attack and they had a chance. Stuff like that, obviously, getting people riled up, thinking we're giving away the ball. We're not intense. Our press they're playing through. To be fair, Brighton played really well, but still. And we're also half-hearted in our attempts to win back the ball. It was abysmal. So, first half, I'm thinking we're in real trouble. It's feeling like Forest all over again, but worse. Kelleher, to be fair, unreal save. Well, unreal save. Very good save from a one-on-one, but unreal moment for us because that obviously kept us in the game. If we go 2-0 down, don't know if we come back and win. We might come back and draw, but big ask considering how bad we were. Great save, gives us a chance. And then Canate, I think he's broke his arm or wrist or something like that by the looks of it, or possibly hand. So that was worrying. And I thought Kwanzaa would come on. He did get hooked though in the 90th minute against Brighton in midweek because he made 2 mistakes. One mistake. Second one was, should have done better probably.
I felt for him there. That was.
I know, and then he got hooked. That was ruthless. But I thought it's the kind of thing where I hooked you midweek, but this is your half now. You come on, you make a difference. Brought on Gomez, and I was like, okay, not seen Gomez have a run in the team at centre half with Van Dijk since we last won the league, 18-19 season. And mate, Gomez was so good. I can't remember last time I said that about Gomez, as in unreal good. Aggressive, first to the ball, won duels, made a vital block from Danny Welbeck, which led to our second goal. Came on as if it was rolling back the years to 18-19. And that was really exciting to see because I think he should get a run in the team with Canate being injured. And
why do you think they've not done that in the past? Is there any specific reason for that?
Don't know, if I'm honest, because Klopp. So what was it? Was it last season or the year before? It might have been the season before. They merged into one a little bit, but we played City and Gomez had to play centre half against Haaland. I think it was Haaland's first, so 2 seasons ago, and we won 1-0. And Gomez was really good at centre half. Stopped Haaland. Didn't see him at centre half hardly since that. He's just been playing in the fullback positions under Klopp.
Yeah,
it always went to Kwanzaa. So I don't know if that was by design. Maybe Klopp just didn't think he was strong, robust enough at centre half. Whereas obviously a new manager now gave him the chance, and I think he grabbed it. To be honest, he was so good. So fair play to him. But that second half, I mean, as Slot said in the interview after the game, tactics just went out the window, essentially. It was about intensity. We've been way below par. Just get after them. Be aggressive on the front foot. And that's what we were. I mean, sometimes football's a simple game. I know the pros make it look a lot easier as well, but still, basics. At the highest level, if you're not doing the basics, then you're screwed. So we came into it, grew into it, and Gakpo got a bit fortuitous, of course, with the cross goal. But Salah, mate, I mean, come on.
Yeah, it was classic Salah, wasn't it?
Oh, it's so good, man.
You're going to miss that when he leaves.
Well, he did put out a tweet today about that, but
Why? What did he say?
He basically put like top of the table, back where this club should be. No matter what happens at the end of the season, just know I've always enjoyed scoring in front of you guys, or something along those lines.
That sounds
ominous.
Ominous, to say the least. Yeah,
but I'd give him a new deal, of course. But then, it's a whole new thing with Salah. I don't see why not. Keeps himself in good enough shape. 2 years, 34. Even if he has a good season, well, he's going to have a good season by the looks of it this season. Has a good season next season, falls off a bit. Well, so what? Yeah. I mean, keep your best players. Find replacements whilst they're there.
Bet the old Saudi dough, though. Too much to turn down.
Well, yeah, but he's...
lifestyle.
Oh, you mean for him, if they offered it.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I feel like his professional ego would want to be playing at the highest level still, because he's still got it. He can still win the big trophies with us. I think that's the difference, actually. When Klopp left, everyone was worried, obviously. So now Slot's come in and started well. These players would probably be more open to staying. Now it depends on the club.
Yeah.
Because they probably thinking, once Slot came in, the unknown, we could be terrible. It could be 2, 3, 4 years before you even challenging again or qualifying for Champions League. But that hasn't been the case.
No, he's literally avoided your worst nightmare with those first three, looking at it going, oh God, we're not going to compete for anything. Whereas he's given them a reason to think and consider, right? Which is probably saving you hundreds of millions of pounds, let's be honest. So fair play to him. Yeah,
done a fantastic job. And that Salah goal though, man, cutting in, everyone knows what he's going to do. Estupiñán was aggressive all game. Did all right, did well, better than all right in the first half, but in the second half struggled. But I think it's because sometimes, again, it's as simple as just getting Salah the ball quicker. Getting him the chance where he hasn't been doubled up on. Because as soon as he isolates you one-on-one, Salah will just keep going. So you might win 2 out of 3 duels, but the third one you don't win. And there you go, he's just bent it into the top corner. So, match winner.
Yeah. Oh God, it's just so difficult to compare your it's about the Chelsea wingers to Salah and Saka we've been talking about in previous weeks. Just like you say, just keep going when they get them isolated. And that's the thing you see with like wingers these days. I feel like it's not like the olden days, so we say, of Premier League years in early 2000s where you would just give like a Arjen Robben or Damien Duff or Joe Cole, just give them the ball and just try and take somebody on all of the time. Right? There's less risk, more pressure these days to recycle the ball, whereas Salah's just a throwback to just giving the ball and just be greedy, selfish, and just keep taking on players, which ultimately makes the difference. I know that's simplifying it a lot, but
it's true though, isn't it? I mean, Salah is one of the most direct players you'll find, but he's also one of the most effective players in the world. So, and again, Van Dijk, Salah. Van Dijk doesn't look like he's missed a beat. Salah, just give him a 2-year deal.
You thought Van Dijk had missed a beat when he got him behind him, but that ball was insane.
Sometimes the pass is just so good. I can't remember, it was brilliant.
What you're supposed to do with that, but he does. I mean, he gets back well and puts him off at the end of the day, didn't he? So, what do you think to my favourite King, Danny Welbeck? It's giving you terrors in the first half. Yeah. He is good, right? He is technically underrated.
I never said he wasn't good. I mean, don't misconstrue that. I just said that Daniel Sturridge is a better player than him. Okay? And to be fair, I think it's a good debate because both of them very good. I just feel like Danny Sturridge's highs were a lot higher than Danny Welbeck's, whereas Danny Welbeck's probably been more consistent. Well, he has been, because Sturridge was very injury prone. And Danny Welbeck's still going now. But he did play well. But again, Brighton were really good in the first half and we were useless, which played into their hands. And then the second half, and we got at them. And can I just say, I've been to Anfield now last couple of seasons, probably been to about, I don't know, 12 games the last couple of seasons. And the atmosphere has been pretty poor. I mean, it's not been great. The atmosphere yesterday, when we needed it, was insane. Like, it was, I mean, not that I'm admitting to watching illegal streams or anything like that. I was listening to on radio, of course. But yeah, it was the atmosphere.
I saw the video your girlfriend sent me of you celebrating the win. It did not look like Radio 4 on the TV.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's an illusion. But no, yeah, like you could feel it when we got, like, the crowd were getting everyone up, going for it, getting that, trying to build up the pressure. Obviously helps when you actually start sustaining attacks because the crowd can feed off that. But then Gakpo, obviously, again, fortuitous goal goes in. But I could sense that second goal was coming. I mean, it came a lot quicker than I would have anticipated, but you could feel it. You could feel it generating. And that is, I think, Anfield at its best, obviously. With this is the thing, I don't know, interesting debate. Maybe you disagree or agree. This is why I think English atmosphere is better than, say, German atmosphere, because the Germans have a thing that's kind of like that, isn't it? Like, it'll be, don't get me wrong, it'll be consistently loud, but there's like the consistency throughout the whole game. Whereas, like, in the English game, it's emotional, isn't it? So even if it's quiet for a little bit, the highs of just feeding off the emotion of the actual game itself, I think, just top it.
Yeah. What do you reckon the top 3 stadiums in the UK are for that? You got to say probably begrudgingly Liverpool, Newcastle, and probably Everton, right? Those are the 3 grounds where you're always like, oh my God, when the fans get going here, like they just, you just the feeling of dread that they're gonna score. That's the grounds my head always goes to when I think about that.
Yeah,
just willing the team want to score.
Newcastle, I agree with for sure. Liverpool, obviously, I would agree with. That's biased. Everton, they definitely have it in them, but the problem is they're also the other way. Of
course. Yeah,
you know how bad they're going to be.
The same. I think Newcastle the same as well. Not so much when they've been playing well, but yeah, Everton certainly.
Everton, if you get them on the back roads, mate, everyone's like, fucking boo. It's like, the whole ground just turns on them.
The worst boo I've ever heard there. Boo.
Well, that's my impression. How you do it
at Liverpool, you just go, woo.
Yeah, woo. But no, to be fair, that's synonymous with Everton. That's synonymous with Everton, though, isn't it? Come on.
Yeah.
But that's their go-to. I know they've had shit times, don't get me wrong, so I can understand the frustration, but you just know if you get them turning, you can get them turning on their own team a lot easier than most. Put it that way. Yeah. The other teams, Palace make a good atmosphere. I don't know about feeling of dread, but then again, our record has been better recently. But our record against Palace has always, we had the Cristambul, as they call it, their fans, the 3-3. So we've had been on the ropes a couple of times against them. So I feel that. Who else is there? Top of my head in the UK, the Premier League. What other fan base would you say? It's like it just feels like it's the pressure's building up. Hey.
And my top 3 probably go to.
Yeah. The ones you said.
Yeah.
I can't think of someone else. There's probably someone glaring.
Palace. There's probably somebody that we're missing. Palace probably, is a good one. Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we'll throw them in. We'll probably miss someone. But
talking of Palace in the bottom 4.
I know.
1-1 draw. 2-2 draw between Palace and Wolves. Not great for either of them there. No. And Southampton, Ricky Martin.
Oh, mate. You got a win against the mighty Everton. I know. Dragging Everton into it. By the way, just quickly, did you see the Mateta disallowed goal that would have won it for Palace?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
That should never have been disallowed.
Oh, I don't know. He's got 2 hands on it though.
Oh, no, yeah, but I mean, he's like patting it.
Yeah, I'd have to disagree with you on that one. I think he's got 2 hands on it. I think it's right.
No way, man.
Not to do a Mike Dean and agree with everything that everybody
Oh
said.
my God.
Oh, he was at it again today.
I know, with the red card for
yeah.
Lisandro Martinez. Yeah, it's a
red card. That is a red card, by the way. We've glossed over that, but that is a red card, right?
I agree. Yeah, because he knows what he's doing. He's leaving one in on Palmer, and he scrapes down his knee essentially. So yeah, I think it's a red. Mike Dean, I think it's a red. VAR, nah, it's a yellow. Yeah, I think it's yellow. To be fair,
I've changed my mind.
Oh, that's a shock, Mike. You know, I could be paid to do that. Just agree with whatever decision the ref makes, and even if I'll change it, I then agree with that decision. Yeah. It's infuriating. But yeah, I don't think they should have disallowed that. I think that was a fair. I feel like Sarr has come through. I think it was Munoz, good goalkeeping, come out, claimed it, but he's essentially like patted the ball and then lost control of it, in my view, and then he's just made a error from the fact that the initial goalkeeping that he did, coming out and sliding for the ball like that. Mateta taps in, obviously. I think it should have stood, but I mean, it didn't. So, and
bit of luck for Gary O'Neill.
I know, but
they've not had many years, to be fair to them.
No, they haven't. Do you think they're going to stick with him? Each week that goes by without a win, and I know they had a ridiculously tough start, but
yeah, I think they're going to give him these games, aren't they? Because we went through the games or the fixtures last week that they've got upcoming. I think they give him those games. And they don't seem totally out, totally out of it, and not like they're not fighting for him. So I think they give him those games, see how he pulls through, and then on the basis of that, I guess they make a decision or not. But it feels like if they come through that with a low points scoring, whether that's sticking with Gary O'Neill or switching him out, it does seem a little bit like they're doomed.
Well, I know they're conceding a lot of goals, aren't they? I still feel like they should have enough to be okay. But
they're that team, aren't they? Where you think, oh, God,
too good to go down.
Would be good enough, too good to go down, and then they do.
It's hard to get out of the negative momentum, though.
Yeah. They've got the quality to do it, though, haven't they?
They have.
I know these are all like football cliches, but yeah.
What were you going to say? Well, what were you going to say about Leicester? Sorry,
I was going to say Leicester. Leicester got another scrappy point, an important one though.
Yeah, it was. And Ipswich again, man, conceding late on. I said it last week, and I do feel sorry for them, but they're just it'll be the lack of quality that hurts them. And again, I didn't think that was a second yellow for Phillips. I thought that was incredibly harsh as well.
Yeah, he's just having a stinker, isn't he, at the moment? But the first one, you felt like the first one in the first half that he got the yellow for. It's kind of fortunate he could have got a red for that, to be fair. So,
I wouldn't have given him a red for it, but I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
Seen them given.
Yeah.
And you on a yellow card, your most experienced player, you don't want him doing that, do you?
No.
Stupid.
I think, as you said, when it's not going your way, I mean, if he's flying, he gets away with that. Yeah. But he didn't. Leicester, though, good point, I guess, coming back from the dead like that.
Just on Ipswich, just before we move on, I heard the other day, there's a statistic around them that Ipswich, and also Southampton, they both spent 100 million, some of the biggest net spenders. But I think they're second highest in regards to net spend, which is absolutely insane. Really,
this summer?
This summer, yeah,
wow.
In the Premier League. Yeah.
No, I've not seen that stat.
Fact check me there, maybe, but yeah. Biggest net or second biggest net spenders, them in Southampton, which is wild, really.
Yeah, because they look way off it as well.
Yeah.
Fulham did the same a few years back. Do you remember? They spent 100 million or something. And they went down with the whimper.
They were signing shit left, right, and centre, weren't they? About 14 years. But yeah, my shout for Ipswich to stay up is looking less and less likely each week. But then again, they don't seem totally out of games. I know that's not a reason to stay in the Premier League, is not to be totally out of games, but it seems that there is an ever-growing gap between those teams now. Yeah.
I do feel like, though, it's just lack of quality of course. However, like you said, they do battle. So they are in games. That's always a good sign, because you're thinking a bit of luck, you can turn it around, maybe go on a mini run just to pick up some points. One guy who you mentioned when we did our first or second podcast, who I think's in big trouble, it's got to be Lopetegui at West Ham. Another defeat, 3-0. Edson Alvarez, man, did you see his second yellow? It's just like, what are you doing?
That's somebody who wants an extended international break. That's what struck me when I saw that.
Yeah.
The beach in Cancun is calling. It's Alvarez there.
Yeah, doesn't have to go back as early. Get your feet up,
Mexican,
son.
Right?
Yeah, he is. yeah.
It's a fancy
3
Cancun.
cheers for the Mexicans. Hip, hip. Classic Mike Bassett.
Yeah. With West Ham, though, right? I know Fulham and Brentford have still got to play tomorrow night. So if one of those wins, they go quite far ahead. But they're not a million miles off yet, are they? It's not like they're sitting like Palace where they're like 7 points from 10 games. Yes, they've had some chasing in defeats for sure. But yes, he is going to be under pressure, but it's not a total disaster just yet.
No, it's not a total disaster. I just feel like there was a bit of expectation when he came in, take him past the Moisey sort of era of floating in and around mid to top half table. I mean, to be fair, I thought Moyes did a pretty solid job with them, but obviously the style of football didn't help. It's just that they got off to a hit and miss start, so I feel like getting defeats like that compounds. I
think we were speaking about before, like different ends of the spectrum, but Arteta's reign, or this season's, going to be defined by potentially a striker. If you look at West Ham and the striker that they've signed versus Duran, who they were very close to signing.
I know, yeah.
Lord,
But then he loves Villa, mate, kissing the badge weeks later.
Yeah, the badge. You just feel like, I bet they are just sitting in the boardroom every week, just going, "Oh my God, what have we done?"
I know.
The difference between those two, they'll probably be certainly be you'd like to think they'd be in the top half of the table if they had him in the side.
Yeah, for sure. He would have definitely been a lot more of a better option than what they got. Fulkenberg and Antonio, and they're playing Ings a lot now.
Yeah.
So definitely for sure. Spurs, just a quick Spurs Villa. You mentioned Villa. 4-1.
Yeah. I watched the game obviously as well before ours. Yeah, I've got to shout out to Solanke. Like he works so hard off the ball, and I thought it was going to be interesting to see how he progressed into that step up of that team. But yeah, they look a lot better, Spurs, with that focal piece that they didn't have up front last season. And yeah, massive result, because if you lose that to Villa,
falling behind,
they
aren't
go
you?
to 21 points. You're on 13. You're like looking at that, going, "Wow, we're 9 points off already with 10 games played." Whereas, just closes the gap right up to 2 points. It is obviously a 6-pointer, but Captain Obvious with that statement from me. But it keeps you in the game, I think, with Spurs. Like if they were to have lost that one, I think he's under big pressure.
Yeah. And they performed, and they went 1-0 down. So showed a bit of character to come back. And Solanke, really good finish for the first goal.
Yeah.
Whichever the one where he dinked Martinez. Can't remember if it was second or first.
I think that was the second one.
Right. Great goal.
Maybe.
Yeah. Great finish. Bit of confidence. Maybe he can go on a bit of a run now. But Spurs, like you said, big win, especially to keep him in touch and distance for the race for top 4. Mate, it's shaping up nicely, the Premier League this season. I mean...
For you, yeah.
And for you. If I'd have said to you at the start of the season that you're above Arsenal after 10 games.
Yeah. It would have been nice to be... Would have been a lot happier sitting on 20 points as opposed to 18 come the end of the day. But I suppose if we've got... depends how we get on against Arsenal next weekend. That'll
be a big one.
That's the biggie. Mate.
That was before the podcast as well, isn't it? So we'll get a happy or a miserable, Ollie.
Probably get another miserable.
I hope it's a happy one because that means that you beat them and that'll do us. So who knows? But yeah, it's probably a good place to leave it. Covered obviously a lot of talking points there. If you are listening to this on Spotify, feel free to share it with friends who might also like to listen to a football podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, obviously like the video, comment and subscribe. Give us your thoughts on the Premier League this weekend and your expectations for your teams. And obviously, if you disagree with me and Ollie, let us know. I'm sure if people watch it, there'll be plenty of things that people disagree with. But
and if you have got any contacts for Eric Edmund, let us know because
we're after him.
Search has gone dry. Him and Bertie Volts. So
yeah, Bertie Volts.
Either of those two get in touch and leave a comment below.
Yeah, and we'll get him on the pod. We'll fly him out.
Fly him out to your bedroom, Luke, which has an assorted set of shirts. I've been trying to work out...
Can I just say, this is not my bedroom.
I'm not your bedroom, but
this is my office.
Your office. I've been trying to work out what that shirt is in the middle between those grotesque Liverpool shirts. Is it a Real Betis one?
No, it's Ferencváros, whatever the name is. There you go.
There you go. A well-known team.
Yeah, mate, from Budapest. And now I can't get my camera back now. But yeah, from Budapest. So
there we go.
Hey, they played Spurs the other week.
How'd they go?
I think they lost. I can't remember. I'm sure Spurs won. But yeah, I got obviously the little champions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gold badge that we were only allowed to wear for one game. 1997, 98. Can't remember which year now. With the retro Liverpool, and then Ferencváros just is stuck in the middle because why not? And then wearing a lovely Bayern shirt as well. So
nice.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go. Perfect. Right. Great way to end it. And if you're listening on Spotify, then yeah, well, I've just described what shirts they are. Can't see him. Yeah, Bertie Volts, Eric Edmund, we'll get you on one day, lads. I'll keep trying. But until next week, we'll see you later. And yeah, have a good week. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Well, have you got a better way to end it? Ciao, guys.